YouTube. It's nice to see you. We'll wait for a few people to get in. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, my beautiful folks. I'm sorry I am late this morning. I'm late because I had court with just a CMC meeting this morning at 11. So I figured I'd come back and say hi to everybody. Hey, Dawn, it's nice to see you. Hello, love. I hope you're doing well this beautiful morning. I see a few people popping in here with some hearty hearts and some smiley faces. It's good to see you. We're going to be talking about the new case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan out of Nova Scotia. It's nice to see you, Denise. Deanna, hello, my love. Hello, hello, hello. Peggy, good morning. Strawberry, good morning. It's nice to see you, my love. For those that are just coming in, I'm sorry I'm a little late this morning. I had court. Nothing major, just a CMC. It's just basically a cattle call to see where we are in our case and what have you, and make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. West Virginia, Holler Girl, it's nice to see you. Spicy Disaster, good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. So many of you guys know, or at least have heard, but we're going to go through the Reader's Digest version of this case for those that are coming in here for the first time. Truth hurts sometimes. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. There are some oddities with this case, and we're going to be bouncing back and forth between this case as well as the Sebastian Rogers case. We don't want to forget about what Sebastian's case. We've come too far in the Sebastian Rogers case to give up now. So we're going to have to kind of reorganize and figure out what is the best strategy to go forward. Dee's Mystery Obsessed, it's nice to see you, my love. So Lily is 6 years old and Jack is 4 years old, and they have been missing since May 2nd, 2025. Now, I'm not really ready to lay blame on the parents just yet. Now, I know we're all side-eyeing them, and for good reason. We have good reason to be side-eyeing these parents. The statements are a little weird. Their behavior's a little weird. We've got 2 missing children at the same time. We've got 2 children that did not go to school before they were reported missing. So we have a lot here to nibble on when it comes to our suspicions for the parents. However, there are other things that we need to be looking at that are truly potential threats in this case. Who else do I see? Some people coming in. Our beautiful Sonia up in the house. Kathleen. Pebbles, good morning. Pebbles, good morning, Sonia. It's so nice to see you guys. Erna's in the house. Shire, it's nice to see you. Good morning, ladies. I hope you're doing well. We're kind of having a casual conversation. So just going over some of the details related to Lily and Jack and why people are looking at the parents and why I'm just not ready to jump on board. Now, we may get there. I mean, don't get me wrong. We know what the statistics are in situations like this. They're not good, okay? Statistics are pointing at the parents. Behaviors pointing at the parents. I get why everybody is looking at the parents. But there is a potential house party, and that would have brought in, especially if there were substances, which we're hearing there's substances in the house. Hey, Marie, Maria, it's nice to see you. Rosemary, Suddenly Sally, it's nice to see you as well. Good morning, ladies. I live in Nova Scotia. Oh, wow. So this is probably, we never get, and it's kind of crazy because we don't really get a whole lot of Canadian stories here in the United States that we're really a part of. And this case is really taking a hold of mainstream media as well as social media. Everybody wants to know what's happening with these children. It's very concerning because when you have house parties and you bring people into your home, when you have two young children, it is a recipe for disaster. Wow, an hour and 47 minutes away. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting us know. And I'm really sorry for your guys' community. Now you guys kind of get a little slice of what it's like for the United States. I mean, I'm saying that sarcastically, but I'm not being, I mean, it's true, but not true, right? Funny, but not funny. This is just sad. And, like I said, my biggest focus is why the mom hasn't been home. You know, why she hasn't been back to the scene, why she hasn't been out there or coordinating. It doesn't take a PhD certificate to go out and search for a child. Look at Brandy Neal, for example. I mean, she worked in, at a grocery store. But she campaigned for her son. She got people in action. She pulled resources wherever she could get them. And she fought for Michael Monkey Vaughn. And she still fights for Michael Monkey Vaughn to this day. And she's not doing well from what I heard the last time. She's got some liver issues or kidney issues or something like that going on. I think it's liver. I think it's her liver. And she's on dialysis and not doing well. But you know what? Again, she doesn't have a PhD or a master's degree or even a bachelor's degree. You don't need that to jump into action when it comes to your kids. So when I hear children missing and parents fleeing, we have to take it as that. Children are missing and parents are fleeing. It's never a good, warm, fuzzy feeling. But when you bring substances and house parties around your young and impressionable children and have substances in front of them and people utilizing them in front of them and God knows what else that comes along with it, that could be a threat to these young children as well. And we have to remember that there is a third party. If the house party is true, there is potential third parties here, and we have to look at those, and we cannot dismiss them because I can personally tell you from experiences I have that parents that even though they didn't do anything wrong, for example, if they had a house party and they were out of their minds and, ended up falling asleep and waking up, a day and a half later and realize their children are gone, they may think that they wandered off when in fact a third party took their children. And they may be be acting weird and having these weird red flag behaviors because they know that they partied and they fell asleep for a day and a half. You see what I'm saying? So you would still see all of the red flags, but the red flags are a different type of red flag. And they're withholding information, and we see that they're withholding information, but it's for different reasons at why they're withholding the information. Now, again, with the children missing that Thursday when they were supposed to be in school and then being reported by 10 a.m. on Friday when they should have already been in school is a little concerning, and what really makes me feel we're on the right track by looking at the mom and the stepfather. But again, I think it's really premature to be accusing them of anything at this juncture because we really, really don't know. So that's kind of the intro into this, and I wanted to read this because I thought this was pretty interesting because, again, it solidifies the oddities in behaviors about the mom and the stepfather. Heather says, if the house party is true, I think the kids may have been met with accidentally getting substances. Yes, I that's kind of where I'm going with this as well, because there's something, I mean, this is how I kind of look at the case in a nutshell. The children are 6 and 4, and they've never really had the Department of Children and Family Services involved in their family, at least that we can identify, okay? And so that tells me whether they have a substance abuse problem or not, that they're okay parents, okay? That means they take care of their children. You know, when you see pictures of them, like behind me, the children look clean and they look healthy. Okay. So this is what leads me to believe that this is accidental in nature if anything happened to them, and not because the parents were these horrible parents. um Even if the house party and stuff like that, we may not agree with it and stuff like that, but I'm sure it wasn't the first one. Nothing ever happened to the children before, at least that we know of. Again, no Department of Children and Family Services um, involved that we can see. Now, would we be able to see them? In all reality, the answer to that question is a big fat no. Because of confidentiality and other reasons, we don't know unless somebody tells us, unless we hear the rumor from an outside source, or the parents talk about prior involvement with the Department of Children and Family Services. But for all intents and purposes, from everything I can personally see, it doesn't seem like the Department of Children and Family Services were involved. Over time, especially with certain substances, the substance abuse is progressive. That means that they may have a substance abuse issue or problem that spirals over time into a full-fledged addiction. We don't know if that's what we're dealing with here, but I have a funny feeling that all of this has to play together, and the fact that law enforcement found substances in their home really solidifies that they were probably doing a lot of stuff that a lot of people didn't know about behind closed doors. But do I think the parents ever intended in this case for these children, for something to happen to these children? I don't think so. And with the behavior of both the mom and the stepdad, I feel like something happened that they didn't intend to happen. And I don't think it was in many cases. I'm like, people will have it wrong. This was violent in nature when they're trying to downplay it. If the parents are involved in this, or something did happen to the children, I don't believe it was because of abuse. I believe it would be something like, them getting into substances or something happening while they were out there partying that they didn't intend to do. For example, maybe they didn't realize the kids were out of the house and somebody was leaving and hit them with the car, something on those lines. There could be literally a million things, but I don't think that this one was intentional. So far, I haven't seen any indicators that this would be intentional or be violent, like abuse. I think this was more in the negligence category. Doesn't make it right, but it takes certain intent away, and that's at least a plus. And again, that's just only on one theory, and I'm not married to that theory just yet. I don't think we have enough information to really start honing in on what we believe happened. Malehya, the mother of the missing children, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, briefly reactivated her Facebook account to change her profile picture and to update her relationship status to single before quickly deactivating it again. Once more, no public statement was made regarding the missing children, likely due to instructions to avoid social media and refrain from speaking to press. Their school bus driver shows where they sit, and where are these babies. So that came from Crime with Sarah, and that was a statement she made on social media about these kids. And I've got to say, again, the behaviors is really what is making the majority of us side-eye these parents. And it's stuff just like this. Who has time, when you have missing children, to activate and reactivate and deactivate a Facebook account, to be as petty as to change a profile picture and to change your status, your relationship status? How petty is that? Who gives a shit? Excuse my language, I'm sorry, but in the grand scheme of things, 2 precious babies are missing, and you think the priority is changing your relationship status again. This is why it's so hard to not focus on the parents. Hello, I'm kind of. Does anyone know for sure there was a party? No. It's right now, Bella Nova, that is just rumor. I've heard it, but I haven't seen, or I haven't been able to source where that came from. And if I can't source where that came from, it makes it very difficult for me to say it's factual information or it's, most likely true. Right now, we don't know. That's what I've been asking for several days now. And quite frankly, I haven't personally received a response or been able to corroborate it after the efforts I put forth. So I don't know one way or another. It could very well be a horrible rumor. I have to wonder if they partied through the night and slept the day. That's what I was thinking. That's why it's very important, Peggy, to find out whether or not this party is true, because it does open up doors, and it could make one party, like the mom, not trust the stepfather, because she was sleeping and doesn't know what truly happened inside the house because she was sleeping, There are some other alternative theories than it being the mom or the stepfather, And I'm not saying that'll ultimately be where this case lands, but right now in the infancy of this case, we have to look at both theories because both of them are probable, even in light of not having the Amber Alert. I kind of think they would have cleaned up more if they did something directly to harm them. Yes, but see, when you're dealing with people that are on substances, depending on what it is, I don't know what substances they found in the house. I don't know if they ever really directly stated what it was that they found in the house. But depending on what substances they are, the paranoia makes you hide things, and sometimes you forget where you hide things, especially if you're up for days on end. And so it may not be that they may have cleaned, and they may have just forgotten about this one thing that the law enforcement ended up finding. We don't know to the degree of partying, to the degree of substances, or even what substances were found in the house, or the substances that they allegedly do. So I think they are acting sus. Yeah, I think they're acting sus, no doubt. Shirley, hey, good morning, love. I'm not buying this mom and stepdad story. It's hard not to. It's hard not to look past it. It's very difficult for me as well. That's why I have to make sure every day we say that there's an alternative theory, because their behavior, it's so hard not to look at them. But in reality, there are other options out there. There are other possibilities out there, and there are other things that could potentially explain some of their behaviors. Not all of it. So I'm trying to give both sides until we have a little more concrete information where we can start getting off the fence. Remember, David Paulson from Oregon was found in a river. So yes, jumping to conclusions because they're poor or messy doesn't mean they did something. Just like because peas are neat and clean did not. Exactly, Mama Bear. Exactly. And like I said, I'm seeing the behaviors. I absolutely understand why so many people are looking in that angle. And again, I am too. But I always have to keep reminding myself there are alternative theories that have to be resolved before we can, jump and solely look at the mom and the stepfather. And right now, it's just too soon, in my opinion, to be jumping on that bandwagon just yet. We still have a lot of information to find, and I'm sorry, but our feelings and our gut, that doesn't equate to reality. A lot of us jump to conclusions very, very quickly, And we really try to rein that in. When we point the finger at somebody, we want to make sure that we're pointing it at the right people. Oh, hello from Scotland. Well, hello, Mama Todd. It's nice to see you, love. I hope you are doing very, very well. You don't often have a chance to sleep in when you have young children. Very important information there, and I agree with that. And again, we're dealing with a situation where we've got a mom that has a 16-month-old child in her room with her. It's kind of hard that how do you not take care of your other kids when you're, I realize not all moms are like my mom, but my mom was a nosy mom. Like, she wanted to know what the heck we were into because, in all the grand scheme of things, depending on what we got into, meant more work for her, right? She doesn't want to be cleaning up a whole bunch of toilet paper running through her house because we thought it was funny how the toilet paper rolls off the toilet roll. You know, just stupid, curious stuff like that young kids do, right? So when we were silent, my mom wanted to know what the heck we were doing. Why were we so silent, right? So I just don't understand how they're taking care of one child, meanwhile not checking on the other children for hours at 4 and 6. Like, if my mom didn't hear us beating or banging on something, she knew we were up to something no good. As she would put it, not me. Hey, me and you, it's nice to see you. The real me too. It's nice to see you as well. Something's not right, otherwise they wouldn't have split apart instantly. Good point. Yeah, I agree with that. That's also exactly what happened in Leilani Simon's case. But, if we have to look at that, what happened in Leilani Simon's case is her boyfriend Daniel wasn't involved at all. And he split. So we might want to look at that. That might be something. Like, I keep looking at the behavior of the stepfather, her boyfriend, and there's just something off-putting about his behavior. Does that mean anything? I don't know. I really don't. Hey, Cinderella, it's nice to see you. Leslie, keep it real? Yeah, it is. It is very suspicious. It's very, very suspicious. What if Lily got told to be quiet and decided to take herself and her brother to the bus stop? And it does come down to that, Brianna. That's one of the theories that I have, is because the backpack's missing. I kept saying, like yesterday and everything like that, like this whole backpack situation's got me kind of perplexed, because why would the child, like, if she was sick at home, let's play devil's advocate and say everything the parents said were true. She's sick, she's at home. Why would she grab the backpack to go outside to play? Why would she have the backpack on her person? It doesn't make sense for the story given. And so I started playing around with some theories about this backpack, and I came up with that as a possible theory, that the parents were sleeping, the older sister was getting her and her little brother up to do the big sissy thing and get them ready for school, and they went out to the bus stop, and some third party, or maybe even somebody that was sleeping in their car from the party. That's why it's so important to find out about this party. But there is obviously a theory to go with that, to incorporate why Lily would have the backpack on her in the first place. So yeah, I do believe that there is a possibility. In my opinion, the brother who lives on the property could have something to do with the kids across missing, being missing. Suddenly, Sally, yes, but see, there's some inconsistencies here, because I'm confused. I was told that only the mother lived on the property with them, and it wasn't until recently, when everybody was pointing at the camper that had, or the RV, the busted down RV that had the tarp topper on it. I heard that was the first time I heard a brother potentially could live on the property. I was told that the mother actually lived on there, and so now I'm very, very confused because somebody told me that the mother lived in there, and now the brother lived in that RV, busted RV camper with the tarp top on it. So I'm confused whether the brother lives there or the mother, or they both live there. Um, but it has been interchanged, and I'm very confused on that. So if the brother lives there, and because he's not a biological uncle, that could lead to something a little more as well. I don't want to jump to those conclusions just yet. I'd like to find out whether or not the mother lives there or the brother lives there first, and then to find out who the brother is. Now, we also have some information about the father, and who he is, but I don't know why he's not been brought up in this, or why he's not really too involved in it. But um,
I'm out here still
either way, hold on.
Still fighting to try to find them. That's all I can do.
The message is still, if anyone knows anything.
If anybody knows anything, just come forward as soon as possible.
I want to go back.
Kids are still out there.
Hold on. Let me go back to the beginning, because he does this thing where he almost cries, or attempts to cry on cue, and that's also sus for me.
I'm out here still searching, still fighting to try to find them. That's all I can do.
The message is still, if anyone knows anything.
If anybody knows anything, just come forward as soon as possible. Two little kids are still out there. Want to find them. So that's all I can do. Still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs and searchers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coordinated. And I can't just go running through the woods. I want to, but I just can't right now because the searches are so far out.
So I found that interesting. What is this? I don't know why it won't let me pass this. It won't let me get past this! Good gracious, let me go back. Oh, I hate when it gets stuck on stuff like that.
I'm out here still searching, still fighting.
Let me turn this off. We already heard that. And it says, it does look like Lilly and Jack Sullivan might have stayed home from school for a couple days prior to being reported missing on May 2nd. Lilly had a bad cough. Stepfather Daniel Martin has also stated that the children's mother left the area to be with her family and has blocked him on social media. He said there was an argument between the two families out in the yard on of the home that day. Lilly Sullivan 6, Jack Sullivan 4 were reported missing on May 2nd in Nova Scotia, Canada. They were last seen at home while stepfather Daniel and mother were taking care of a 1-year-old sibling. And we also learned, if you guys weren't here yesterday, that the Department of Children and Family Services have the sister in their custody. Now, this was interesting, so I'm going to read this in its entirety before we discuss this a little bit. Hold on here, make sure I didn't. If she did take them to the bus stop, parents were in and out asleep, maybe some truth to that story. They will just remember. They just don't remember. It would explain why Lilly had her backpack exactly. That's what I was kind of thinking too. That's what I was thinking too. So I came in late. Did you hear about the mother's brother allegedly having charges against him, against a minor? Another channel is going over it last night. They had a bunch of cockroach people in their circle, in my opinion. Oh, I believe it. I mean, if they're having house parties and having substances around these kids, normal people, good classy people don't hang out. I believe they would have some pretty bad people in their circle. It just comes with the territory. Motherhood was the hardest job I ever had. You got up early, you were always tired, you had to cook, clean, take care of the children, but it was worth it all the way. Oh, that's sweet. It could have been a normal thing for them to sleep with when the children are in the house, regularly done, so to speak. It's possible. It doesn't sound like this is new to them. I looked at some of the stuff from her past before she had the children. It looks like she was a party animal back then too. The grandmother and brother are not saying anything. What if they did? Mom and dad did have a party, and grandma had the kids in the RV. Might explain some things. Yeah, there's a lot of theories that could be associated with this case. What I noticed about the stepdad is how calm, even with a slight smile, when Lily was screaming so loud and long at the birthday party, not even a frown of anger. Any best friends around talking about what they think happened? Any relatives on television? No, Passion Flower. We haven't really heard from anybody. Nobody associated with this family. No friends have come forward. Hey, Gypsy, it's nice to see you, love. Melanie, it's nice to see you as well. It's Daniel's mother's property. She lives there, and the brother as well. Thank you, Canadian True Crime. I appreciate the update on that. Biofather is supposed to be in jail, but I heard rumors that he just got out, that the family has nothing to do with the children for some reason. My granddaughter, when she was 4, her siblings were all in school and had backpacks, and the 4-year-old needed to have a backpack too, even though she wasn't in school yet because of her sister, because her, yeah. All right, so here's one from a public post. It says, the case doesn't make sense to me. Lilly and Jack Sullivan, age 6 and 4 respectively, have been missing from their home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia since the morning of May 2nd, 2025. Their disappearance has prompted an extensive search and raised concerns within the community. The children were last seen around 10 a.m. on May 2nd, reportedly playing in the yard of their rural home on Gerlach Road. Their mother, Malehya Brooks-Murray, stated that she awoke to find them missing and immediately contacted emergency services. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police issued a voluntary missing person alert, and a large-scale search operation commenced. Involved over 160 personnel, drones, helicopters, and search dogs. The search covered approximately 4 square kilometers of dense forest and rugged terrain surrounding the family's residence. Despite the intensive search effort, no significant clues have been found. A child's boot print was discovered early in the search, but it did not lead to any further evidence. Family members have expressed concerns about the possibility of abduction and have urged authorities to expand the search beyond the immediate area. The children's stepfather, Daniel Martell, has been actively involved in the search and has publicly appealed for information. The children's mother has since left the area and has not maintained contact with Martell. The siblings are members of the, I can't even pronounce this word, it's some kind of Indian nation or whatever. Community leaders have questioned the decision not to issue an Amber Alert and have called for the establishment of the National Alert System tailored to better respond to such emergencies. As of May 13, 2025, the RCMP has scaled back the search operations, citing the low likelihood of the children being found alive after more than 10 days missing. However, the investigation remains active, with authorities continuing to pursue leads and maintain an open mind regarding circumstances of their disappearance. So really like that, but again, it's kind of hard when you're looking at the totality of information that we have publicly about this case, not to think that there's something very, very, very wrong about what is being said and what has happened in and around these children prior to their disappearance. For example, we need to find out why they were truly missing from school. The last time a third party saw these children, unless there was party going or they went to a store or something like that, is why were they out of school? You know, the last people that saw them were Tuesday. You know, when they were in school, they left school. They didn't have school. School was closed. It wasn't that they didn't show up for school on Wednesday. The school was closed. They had no school on Wednesday. And the first day back to school from Tuesday would have been Thursday, and they did not come to school, neither one of them. We were told publicly that these children, one or both of them, had a cough, and that's why they weren't in school. But on Friday, they were reported missing at 10 a.m. That's pretty late in the morning to be reporting sick kids that should have been in bed missing. And if they were feeling better, they should have already been on their way to school and not missing. So I really have some type of questions about that. If you guys have any perspectives, any information about the mom, the stepfather, about this party that went on, if you know somebody that attended this party, that's critical information that we would like to have. You can send any information if you'd like to be anonymous, but would like to provide me information about this case. You can do that at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm really eager to learn more about this case. I'm really eager to learn more about the mother and the stepdad. If you know them, if you know their history, if you have photos of those social media accounts that are now closed, anything like that that you may have in your possession, and you'd like to share those, please, again, send those to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Let me know whether I can use your name or use a screen name, whatever you would like me to use, or if you'd prefer me leaving your name out of it entirely. I always side on the side of caution when it comes to that, so if I don't have express permission to use your name, I will not use your name at all. I will just call you a subscriber or a member that has sent me, whatever. But I'm very interested in this because there are so many possibilities when it comes to these two kids. But the problem I have is these two kids disappeared at the same time. So something happened to them at the same time, in my opinion. So that's one fact that was not provided to us just like that. But whatever happened to them at the same time. So when we're gearing our theories, our speculations, our possibilities, keep that in mind. 2 children being abducted seem far-fetched. I don't know. Seems funny. No one saw anything. I know they lived in the country. Yeah, Bellanova, but you know what? The predators are getting smarter. And they are starting to go out into the country because kids are a lot more freer. Parents don't watch their children. They can find a child riding their bike down a desolate road and be able to snatch them very easily without anybody knowing or seeing. So all right, get down if you're gonna. She has a hairball or something. She's not doing too well. Don't throw up under the bed. She's gonna throw up. I can hear her. I don't know what got into her belly, but she... Hopefully not. We'll see. We'll see. Where was I at? So... The whole situation surrounding both of them disappearing and potentially being abducted, I don't think it's as far-fetched as people may believe, because they're so young, 6 and 4. One person could control children that are 6 and 4 years old, So I don't think it's that far-fetched, but we really need to know, because it comes down to that house party. If they did not have the house party and there's no evidence of a house party, in my mind, the third party and the abduction theory, in my mind, go away. Now, if they did have a house party, we need to know exactly who all was there. and we need to start working on those theories. So I know you guys are in these chat rooms a lot more than I am. So if you see these things, if you get some of these information and you hear me talking about it and you finally get some pay dirt, please immediately send it to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm looking for any and all information related to this case. We need to know who, when, what, where, how. We need to know who had motives, means, and opportunity. And we need to find out where these kids could potentially be. So, all right, guys, thank you for being here. We'll be back this afternoon with some more information. I'm going to keep searching on my end for more information about this case. We need to do another show on the Sebastian Wayne-Drake Rogers case. There's not a whole lot, to really cover. There's no new information out there to really go over, but we need to start going back to the beginning of the case and finding out if there's any more information we can plug in. For tonight, I would say probably about 5:30 we'll be going live again. 5:30. It might be as late as 6, but I'm thinking 5:30 we'll get started on our evening show. So, all right, guys, I love you all. God bless you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more important, kind to one another. God bless you. We'll see you soon.